Hi guys. Today I want to talk about the largest monolith on the planet, Yangshan Monument, and why I disagree with historians that it was quarried in the early 15th century. What is a monolith? It is a man-made large stone. I believe the Yangshan Monument was created by a prehistory culture with sophisticated tools long lost to time. This monolith might be a proof that our planet once had technology tens of thousands of years ago that in many ways rivals, if not surpasses, modern-day engineering. The largest monolith on the planet is located in China. It weighs over 16,000 tons, which is equivalent to 180 blue whales or 2,700 African elephants. Chinese historians and Wikipedia state that the workers from 1405, Ming Dynasty, quarried this monument because an emperor wanted to honor his father. Early 15th century is before the Renaissance and is considered the late Middle Ages, when people used hand tools for mining and quarrying. First, let's take a look at the site located in Nanjing, southern China. There are actually 3 man-made monoliths here, with the smallest one weighing more than 6,000 tons. I will use the same names Wikipedia uses to identify them. The biggest of the 3 is called the base. It's 30 meters long, 13 meters wide, and 16 meters thick. Imagine a stone block, bigger than an NBA court. How do we know it was man-made? Look at the sharp edges and the gap between the quarried block and the bedrock. The quarried block is much smoother. Also, there are 3 precisely cut rectangular openings, each is about a person's height. The second stone is called the body. It is almost 50 meters or 162 feet long. Standing up, it will be as tall as a 16-floor building, taller than the Statue of Liberty or the Colosseum at Rome. This one weighs about 8,800 tons. Look at the massive scale of the opening and the precision of the stonework. It is mind-boggling. Whoever did the quarrying basically took off most of the bottom part. We see an adult can stand straight in the opening. Why did they carve out these stool-looking blocks? Why would the imperial architect agree to do such a thing if it wasn't beneficial to the end product? How did ancient workers know that the stone would hold up and not collapse? These questions remain unanswered. The third one is the head. It is peculiar looking with interesting knobs, a rounded shape with rectangular holes that go through. It also has a curve cut at one end. We have seen similar knobs in Peru and Egypt. What are they for? And are they in fact connected? No one knows for sure. Many people are familiar with the Stone of the Pregnant Woman in Baalbek, Lebanon, which is the 5th largest monolith on the planet. Just look at how many people can fit on that stone. Here is a graph comparing the Baalbek stone standing side by side with the 3 Yangshan blocks. We can see the Yangshan blocks are much bigger. The official explanation is that the Yangshan blocks were supposed to be assembled together as one monument, which would be a 240 feet giant, taller than Notre Dame in Paris, almost half the height of the Great Pyramid of Giza, and it weighed an incredible 31,000 tons. That is 150 times heavier than the Statue of Liberty, or 91 times heavier than the big rock levitated mass in the Los Angeles County Museum of Art. That rock took 11 days, $10 million, used a custom-built 196-wheel transporter for the 100-mile route from the quarry to the museum. Wikipedia states, after most of the stone cutting work had been done, the architects realized that moving stone that huge from Yangshan to the final location, then installing them in the proper way, wouldn't be physically possible. So are some scholars stating the imperial architects were incompetent? They couldn't properly assess the project before they started all this quarrying work? I don't think so. Even with today's most advanced technology, we cannot finish the project. The most powerful gantry crane, which is mounted to the ground, can lift 20,000 tons. The biggest mobile crane can lift and transfer 1,200 tons. So if we manage to mount a gantry crane on a mountain, we might be able to lift the blocks, but we couldn't transport any of them. Can we duplicate these blocks with current machinery? The largest stone block cutter with diamond blades can cut through stone as thick as 3.5 meters. The thinnest Yangshan block is over 4 meters. If you want to do a clean-cut opening like the ones we saw at Yangshan, what tool would you use? Water jet cutter? Diamond drilling? Look at the tool marks here. Don't they look like machine marks? If we would have so much trouble to make these blocks today, how did workers in the 1400s with hand tools such as chisels and pickaxes manage to do so? The obvious answer is they couldn't. Let's take a look at the final monument to the emperor. This represents the real sophistication of the stone masonry during that time period. It stands less than 9 meters tall, shorter than 29 feet. It remains the largest in Nanjing area and weighs about 20 tons. Here I want to briefly talk about the technological ability of stone masonry in ancient China. It is well known that ancient Chinese mainly use wood for building structures. A good example is the Forbidden City. Then why didn't the Chinese consider stone or bricks at this time? There are different reasons, such as wood is more accessible and easier to work with. But the most important reason is probably this. Ancient Chinese workers lacked understanding of stone mechanics. They never gained sufficient techniques or knowledge to work with stone. They used stone the same way they use wood, which didn't work well for freestanding structures. I'm not making an assumption here. I'm merely repeating the statements from the best-known Chinese architect, Liang Sicheng, who is also a prestigious architecture historian in the early 20th century. He and his wife did extensive surveys on ancient Chinese structures, and he came to this conclusion, which is indicated in his book, The History of Chinese Architecture. I'm showing you some imperial stonework in the later Ming Dynasty. I'm not saying they're not impressive, but we can see the scale of the work is nothing remotely close to the Yangshan blocks. If we compare the final monument and the Yangshan blocks, again using the Baalbek stone as a reference, we are seeing a 31,000-ton Yangshan monument versus a 20-ton final product. One is humongous, and the other one is like a miniature. There is absolutely no comparison. Another note, in 15th century China, monuments were made of 2 stone blocks, the head and the body are one piece of stone, and the base is a separate one. So the 3-block monument theory is not correct. Then why did Chinese historians come to this illogical conclusion? Wikipedia states, according to a legend, and let me just stop here and give you a fact. This project was not mentioned even once in the Chronicles of Ming Dynasty, which is written by the imperial scholars with great detail. If the project was directly ordered by the emperor, there is no way it wasn't documented. The only reference on Wikipedia is a poem written in the 18th century. That is 300 years after. How would that be a reliable source? Modern-day historians searched all over and found only one source relating Yangshan to this emperor. It is from a scholar's diary. Here is a portion of the diary at current-day Yangshan. The 1405 diary stated, a great stone block was found at Yangshan Quarry. Two things to be emphasized here. First, he was talking about one single block, not three. Second, the stone was found instead of quarried. He also described different stones at Yangshan as natural formation, not man-made. Here is an aerial view of today's Yangshan Park. We can clearly see the quarry is adjacent to one of the Yangshan blocks, the base. But the long body and the knotted head are not in that area, and there are no signs of quarrying near them. I think I have presented enough evidence to argue that the ancient Chinese didn't have the ability to quarry the Yangshan blocks. The question then becomes, who did? Remember the curious knobs? We found similar ones in Peru, Egypt, and other megalithic sites. What's the connection here? Could it have been built by a prehistory global civilization? Ancient Greek scholar Plato stated in Timaeus that there were many deluges that happened on planet Earth, while we only remembered one. In recent years, new evidence emerged that points to Atlantis being a real civilization that existed before the last flood, which might have happened 12,000 years ago. Maybe these giant stone blocks were actually done by the Atlanteans. And is there a possibility that more prehistory civilizations existed? Indeed, they might have left us these megalithic sites all around the world as proof of their existence. Human history still remains a big mystery, and we shouldn't be so convinced to think we have all the answers already. In my next video, I will talk about my findings on the tool marks at Yangshan and how they are similar to other ancient sites at Baalbek, Petra, India, Greece, and Italy, and how they all match modern machine marks. This is my first YouTube video. Thank you for spending time with me. I also have a few other ones that I'm currently working on, such as Longyou Cave, which has different but equally intriguing tool marks, which I found on other sites as well, and I can guarantee some of them you probably never heard of. If you have any insights, please leave a comment. I would love to hear from you. If you like my video, please give me a thumbs up and subscribe. And don't forget to hit the bell button so you'll be notified when I upload my next one. Thank you for watching, and see you next time.